Sports Network.
Let's go!
Let's go!
That's an open, huh? Buff Bets. Yes.
That.
All right, so the first ever official Buff Bets. Here we are. He is Cody Decker. I am Keith Irizarry. Going to take you through each and every Thursday. Clearly, we have bets, and clearly, we are both buff. How you doing, Cody?
Oh, no, I'm just working on these traps just by sitting here breathing and looking awesome. Just being buff. As he shrugs to show the audience the shrug life.
Shrugging a little bit. Yeah. Do you remember Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco?
I mean, he rings a bell. You know what the thing about him is? He'd be great on Buff Bets, but only reason why he'd be so great on Buff Bets was because, one, he was buff, and two, he did it by eating nothing but McDonald's. The guy was a machine.
Yeah, he's got some good genes. I don't know if I could pull that off, eat nothing but McDonald's and still stay in shape. But the reason I bring up Chad Johnson, he is the subject of our giveaway. We're going to do that right now, as we always do. To be eligible, how? Download the app. That's the first thing. Then register. It's free. Bettor Sports Network, courtesy of gettingthegame.com and Bettor Sports Network. We are giving away a Chad Johnson autographed jersey here. No purchase is necessary. Remember, if you've won over the last 90 days, you're not eligible. But I don't know, your wife, your mom, your buddy down the road, they are. Feel free. Dive in. Ernie and Keith, we start it up now. We'll give you the contest winner by the end of the hour. Hey, let's start with the NFL. You want to start with your boy, or do you want to start with Thursday Night Football? I'm going to dealer's choice.
You know what?
You know who I mean by your boy.
Let's start with Thursday Night Football because I have a feeling the rest of this show is going to be about your boy. Never put him on me again. Ever.
No, you love him.
I do not. You know what's amazing? The winner, and I give this away every so often, Keith, as you may know, I give away the Kirk Cousins of the Week award, and that is for my least favorite person currently breathing on my planet. And the Kirk Cousins award needs to be renamed very soon. The Russell Wilson award. Russell Wilson is so Kirk Cousins Kirk Cousins is now almost cool in comparison to just how square and cheesy and nauseating and awful Russell Wilson has become. Oh my God.
I got you. See, I knew I'd get you into it. So what's the worst line? The let's ride or the you like that?
This is
what's worse?
I'm just saying, Keith, that is a Sophie's choice if I've ever heard one. Listen, I'm gonna give it to Russell Wilson having the worst one because let's be real clear. At this point, it needs to be changed. Bronco Nation, let's die.
Jeez. So for the trickle down effect of, and Baby J's in here writing Cornball of the Week award, the trickle down effect of corniness, right? So I have an 11-year-old, I have an 8-year-old son. This was about a week and a half ago. My 8-year-old son had fallen asleep. My 11-year-old got back. We got home from AAU basketball practice, and usually he showers, and then he always asks, can we just watch TV for 15 minutes, right? So I usually sit with him for 15 minutes. We watch something. We spent about 13 minutes. Every time either of us said anything, we would end with, let's ride, like that. And we were giggling like little children. And he is a child, and I am one at heart. And that's how corny, and that's how far it has trickled down, that the children, the 6th graders, are now mocking Russell Wilson.
As they should be. He's so easily mockable. And listen, do you want to get into it now? Because this might end up being a 30-minute tirade by me. Or do you want to get into Monday Night Football to start the day?
No. No. I want a little bit more Russell Wilson in my life.
Okay.
I do. Well, I want more Russell Wilson.
All right, let's forget about everything else. Let's just forget about everything that he's done up to this point. Let's just talk about the plane flight, which if you're a wrestling fan at all, you wrestling people and people that are big fans of wrestling know something called the plane flight from hell. It's a moment in wrestling lore where all the wrestlers did everything imaginably horrible on one plane flight overseas that led to people being fired from companies, losing their way out of their industry, and things that have just lived on. There is a new plane flight from hell, and it is from Colorado to England, and it is any poor soul that had to be rocking a Denver Broncos hoodie on that thing because apparently you were constantly woken up by a high-kneeing Russell Wilson, claiming that he spent 8 hours stretching and doing high knee. It's one thing to do it. It's another thing to announce that you're doing it. If you do these things, there is a world where you can come off inspiring. There is a universe out there where you can come off and like, man, did you see what Russ did? He spent the entire flight doing high knees and stretching and all that. There is a world where that's heroic. Yes. When your teammate goes on camera and says, yeah, Russ had an amazing game today.
Yeah, KJ Hamler comes out and goes, guys, you have no idea, and I'm making this up, by the way. You have no idea the leader that Russ is. When I tell you, we're all trying to sleep, a couple guys were in the back of the plane playing cards, whatever. And Russ is stretching. He's got his earbuds on, his Beats by Dre, whatever he wears, and he's doing some high knees, and he's randomly saying, let's ride, and he's, taking bites of a Subway sandwich that doesn't exist anymore. Backwards. I was inspired. I was inspired by the high knees. But no, when you and I joke a lot about we I don't know, brag a little bit, like whatever. But it's like in funniness and good jest.
Yeah.
But the fact that can I do it without knocking things over? Is sitting there going like this and doing high knees and like whatever, man, dude, you don't have to tell us. You don't. And I tried to stand up for this guy. I did. I was talking about like the dad jokes and all that kind of stuff and how it was almost endearing. I'm out. It's not endearing anymore. It's bad.
Yeah, this would be the equivalent of me like going into the studio every morning by taking the subway, but bringing my ropes with me. And while I was waiting for the subway to get there, I set up the ropes. I just did the rope for 30 straight minutes until the C train came. And what you would say to me is, Cody, you're a complete idiot, and you would be right.
So what I think you should do? Is Greg Jennings on the show tomorrow again with you?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so and Greg's in great shape, right?
Almost as good as me. Almost
as good as you. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's been in like bodybuilding competitions.
Yeah,
he's
jacked. Dude.
Yeah, he's jacked and shredded, right? He's not skinny cut. Like he's a big dude and cut up, right?
He's got pecs that look like mountains type.
Right.
Pecs, yes.
So that would be like tomorrow. All right. What time do you guys actually sit? So the show starts at 7 a.m. What time do you actually sit down at the desk, the three of you? And I know Craig stands the whole time. I know. But.
Yeah, I get to the desk at about 6:30, but I do also get to the studio every day around 4:15. So I'm there pretty early.
Yep. And what time does Greg sit down?
He sits down like about 10 minutes right before we start the show.
All right. Imagine he really sat down at 6:30 like you. Okay. Let's say you both sit down at 6:30 and Craig's not even there. And you have your notes and you have your laptop in front of you. And instead of you guys chatting about the show, or instead of you typing like this, you start leaning up against a desk and just start doing push-ups on the desk like this. And then you set a timer. That's what you do. You do an EMOM every minute on the minute. You have to get a certain amount of push-ups done. And you just look at it and be like, yeah, man, let's get ready for the show. Like that, come on.
I will admit something. All right, this is gonna not sound great. But I wasn't like announcing it. So I was co-hosting a show on Bally Sports about 3 months ago. I flew into Chicago, did this show called Live on the Line, giving all the gambling live. And I have a great time on the show. Wonderful people, wonderful show. Well, anyways, I get there and I'm hosting in studio for the whole week for the first time. And I would get down to the studio about 45 minutes before we start air. And I will freely admit I'm the only one in the studio, and I am doing a full stretching routine. That is true. I am going down there, and I mean going on doing yoga. I'm talking downward dogs. I'm talking full on hip abductors, everything I can do to kind of get
loosening up the sciatic nerves.
Yeah. But I also wanted to get kind of comfortable with the studio because it's not my studio. It's somebody else's studio. So I kind of wanted to get to know my surroundings. I used to do this at ballparks, especially if I wasn't a home player. I would say if I was at Chavez Ravine, I would go out in center field at about noon, run around, kind of stretch in center field, kind of acclimate myself with the area.
Yeah, that's different. And
I did it in the studio.
You Russell Wilson. Yeah, you Russell Wilsoned in Chicago. That's what you did.
I didn't tell everyone. Yeah, I got here earlier and I spent about 4.5 hours. But I did it months ago. This is past tense. This doesn't count.
No. You Russell Wilson. No, you Russell Wilson.
No, I was inspiring when I did it, Keith.
You know what? I'm inspired. Can we take a break so I can do some push-ups? No, we're not taking a break. I'm just kidding. Jeez. Reminder again, contest is open. Chad Johnson jersey, autographed jersey, Cincinnati Bengals. up for grabs. All right, let's actually talk about the Ravens and the Buccaneers tonight. We've seen a lot of line movement here, right? The Ravens were the favorites when I went to sleep last night. The Buccaneers are the favorites now. So we often do this in the gambling world where we follow along with the lines and try to figure out what that means. So Cody, what do you think it means that the Buccaneers are favored today when they were the dogs yesterday?
I have to assume they're seeing what I've been seeing, and that is simply the Ravens' absolute inability to score in the fourth quarter going into it. But here's the thing. The only thing that's interesting about it with me, Keith, is, yeah, you can look at the Ravens and their inability to score in the fourth quarter, especially in the last 5 minutes of the football play, but the Buccaneers aren't scoring at all, like in any quarter. So that's my only concern here.
17 points a game, right?
17.7 points a game right now, which, by the way, is, I think, about 8 points less than Tom Brady is used to actually averaging at this point of the year. This is an ugly scenario here. But here's the thing. Ravens not playing good football themselves, also a 500 team at this moment. But amazingly, both these teams are practically in first place of their division at 500. So this is going to be a real interesting game today. I do favor the Bucs a little bit, the 1.5 point favorites. And I know a part of me is looking at it with nostalgia, and I might be wrong, and I might be eating some crow tomorrow, but I do like the Buccaneers today. At some point, the baby's got to come out. There's no way a Tom Brady-led offense can continue to be this anemic. I just can't imagine it. And with the fourth quarter woes that the Ravens have had, I got to believe that this is the team where Tom Brady can kind of get things right. And then tomorrow, we're all talking about, the Ravens. What's up with Lamar? What's taking place? We're going to talk about the Ravens tomorrow the way they were talking about the Bucs today.
Zappy Hour just put in, I'm going over on the yards and an anytime touchdown for Mike Evans. It's time for him to pop off. I agree. I'm actually leaning a little bit more Chris Godwin tonight, but Deck, I'm with you on the Buccaneers. If there's ever going to be a get-right game, it's now. You look at the Ravens defense, 26th in pass defense. Like, if you can't do it against them, maybe he won't do it. Now, Brady's also 6th in passing yards in the NFL. We act like this guy, like we're trying to portray him like he's straight up garbage. He's 6th in the league in passing yardage. And if Mike Evans doesn't drop a wide open touchdown last week, is that game different? And are we having a different conversation?
Big time. Like, listen, I know as many. I actually said that to Craig the other day, and Craig actually made fun of me back, going, "Well, then they would have just lost, 34-7." But would they have, though? Because that's a massive momentum shift, like massive momentum. A drop 50-yard touchdown with no one around you in 10 yards in any given direction. That was like, opening up a casket and saying, "Everybody get in."
All right, so the guy that played the sport at the highest level, played in the majors, played in the minors, most home runs ever. Take me through the mind of an athlete, though, with that. So you mentioned the word momentum, and I find that word to be fascinating sometimes because there are some people that truly believe that momentum shifts matter, and there are others that say it is fabricated by the people in the media.
It's not fabricated by the people in the media. But I will say this. I will freely admit that there probably is a very big difference between a momentum shift in a baseball game to a football game. In a baseball game, it could be anything. It could be something as simple as a broken back single all of a sudden just changes everything. I used to have a t-shirt growing up that said hitting is contagious. And even though there is no numbers that back that up, it is just a fact. A broken bat single affects the guy you're facing on that mound. He might be frustrated, and that one thought in his head might lead to him making one different pitch in this next at bat. Another base hit happens. Now, quicksand. Now you're trying to fight your way out of quicksand. Now you are on the offensive, and that pitcher, by the way, baseball being the only game in baseball, I believe in sports, where the defense holds the ball, that pitcher is officially on defense now. That is a massive change in a game, and that could lead to multiple runs. It could be an error. It could be just maybe a team is 0 for 14 and somebody hits a solo shot, and all of a sudden you're reminded, we are human. That guy's human. This is a game. And in an NFL, man, it's such a high-paced, high-octane game. A 50-yard pass being dropped like that. I mean, if you're on that sideline, the way things have been going for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you had to immediately go like, oh, great, here we go, which is the exact opposite what you should be saying in that scenario. Look at this. We got him. No, it's as much as the media likes to play it up and not understand it, there is something there. It's one of those things you can't quantify, and that's what makes sports so special. We could talk the numbers all day, but there's so much of it that we simply cannot discuss numbers-wise that affect the game just as much.
Well, how good did Garrett Cole look in Game 3 against the Astros? Harrison Bader drops the fly ball that him and Aaron Judge got a little tossed up on, and the next thing you know, Cole gives up some runs, and he's gone. I mean, that's what happens. So, you there? Did we lose you for a second? All right.
Quick second. Don't worry. Anytime you lose me, you're only going to lose me for 4 total seconds. And I agree with you on that Harrison Bader comment, 100%. Garrett Cole was rolling.
Yeah.
Fly to the center field, routine as routine gets. Balls dropped. And it's amazing how the Yankees, even good outfielders, good defensive players like a Harrison Bader, the Yankees make more errors with Garrett Cole on the mound than any 2 pitchers combined. In fact, check out, you want to do yourself a real favor. Take out IKF's numbers when he's playing shortstop for the New York Yankees, and then look at them again when he's playing behind Garrett Cole. That guy is good for an error a game with Garrett Cole on the mound. And then Garrett Cole goes and gives up a home run on a pitch that he should never have thrown.
Yeah.
We've already been back in the dugout. Momentum shifts are serious, and the reason we hate them is because they add so much chaos to a game that we're trying to make money on.
Yeah, it's the weirdest stuff. And again, yeah, from a betting standpoint, it really screws things up. All right. Do you have any player props you like tonight? Because I have a few that I'm looking at. What's on your ledger for the evening?
I like Leonard Fournette one-time touchdown tonight.
So
Single touchdown at plus 800. I love this play. Yeah. One, you brought up Tom Brady and how he has the 6 months. Yeah, but here's the other thing. He throws the ball 50 times a game this season. They got to start using Fournette in that backfield. You got him. Why aren't you using him? I think today they're going to use him. I think they're going to take a chance to really spread out the football. You mentioned Mike Evans. You mentioned, who's the other name you mentioned?
Chris Godwin.
You like Godwin tonight. Yep. I just think the ball is going to be spread out a little bit, and I really like Fournette on a one-time touchdown.
So, all right, so let's have some fun here. I'm going to pull up. Let's do FanDuel for this. Fine. I'm going to go to the NFL. We're going to do a little same-game parlay here, a same-game touchdown parlay. So you like Fournette to score.
Mm-hmm.
I like Gus Edwards to find the end zone. That gets us there. If those 2 guys score, that's plus 354. What else can we add to this to make you happy?
I mean, I got to assume that Lamar is. You know what? No, I'm not going to look at Lamar because Lamar, I feel like, is not running as much as we normally see Lamar run. So I'm going to stay away from Lamar. I truly think this, and I, again, might be eating some serious crow at the end of the day. I think this is the day that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get right.
Evans or Godwin? Who do you like better, Evans or Godwin? Let's Godwin. Add one in. Godwin. Okay,
I agree with you on Godwin. Me personally, I loved the comment earlier. When somebody said, what do we got?
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but Fournette, Edwards, Godwin. If they all score a touchdown tonight, plus 1290. Is that something you'd play?
Yes.
All right, we're going to call that the Buff Bets touchdown parlay of the day. I'm going to send this over to Ernie and Keith.
Did you say 1290?
Yep, plus 1290.
Yeah, that's worth a sprinkle for me.
Right?
To say the least.
Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to send this over. Buff Bets parlay of the day. Touchdown parlay of the day.
What do you think on passing yards today? Because this is where I'm a little stuck. I'm a little surprised that I'm currently getting on BetMGM. I got Lamar Jackson at 209.5 at minus 115. Does that sound low to you?
It doesn't. I think this is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the Baltimore Ravens are going to do that well tonight. I think Tampa wakes up. I do, and I don't know if it's nostalgia, like you said. I think that they're gonna find a way to wake up tonight. I think 209. Well. I know he's top. I looked this up earlier. So we're going, what's the number? Give me it again. 209?
It's 209.5 at minus 115. In fact, it's minus 115, the over and under. So that's
all right. So he's actually topped this in 1, 2, 3, 4 of 7 games.
Man, that sounds so low for him.
But only 120 last week against Cleveland, 210 against the Giants the week before. So you would have won it by the hook. You got Cincinnati 174, Buffalo 144, And then 218, 213. The only big game he had was that first half against Miami where he had 318. I think he had 1 yard in the second half. I'm kidding. But it seems like the under's the play here. And you talk about rushing, right? Pull up the rushing numbers for him if you can, and I'll read you some stats.
Let's do it.
So rushing numbers for him, take away week 1 against the Jets where he didn't run very much. And as our chat will tell you, the Jets defense is the greatest defense in the history of defenses.
Of course our chat will say that.
A lot of Jets fans in this chat. 119, 107, 73, 58, 77, 59. Those are the rushing totals for him each week. And in all of those, it was 9, 11, 11, 12, 7, and 10 in rushing attempts. So what's the number that you got for rushing yards for Lamar?
Rushing yards, I'm still trying to find it. I'm actually having trouble
Which
here.
site are you going on?
I'm on BetMGM right now.
All right. So I know I love BetMGM, but sometimes there's a slow. Let me just...
I am noticing that.
Yeah. I love them. I do. Let's go rushing yards.
Rushing.
Well, to have the most rushing yards in the game in general, Lamar is at plus 125. That's an interesting one.
I got it here. Yeah. Okay. So rushing yards from Lamar Jackson today, 60.5 at minus 115 and minus 115 at under 60.5. So they're setting the line at minus 115 both ways. 60.5 is too much this year.
He's topped it 4 times.
Has he really?
He's topped it 4 times and has been close twice.
I'm all over the Bucs today, man. I cannot assume that, as much as I want to sit here and assume Lamar is going to have a great game. If Lamar has a great game, then quite frankly, the Baltimore Ravens should have a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling that today. I don't know what if it is in the air, like we both said, nostalgia, possibly our utter nonsensical belief in Tom Brady, a 45-year-old Tom Brady. I just can't get off of it. I can't imagine this offense does not put up a stomping, and I got to assume the defense is going to keep them in the game as well.
All right, we're going to step aside. When we get back, I want to talk some World Series with you. We have Game 1 tomorrow. The LA Lakers are the worst basketball team in the NBA right now. We will discuss that. I apologize. We will. And the Philadelphia Eagles are saying, fly, Eagles, fly. They're making moves. Also, don't forget the contest is open right now. Chad Johnson jersey, courtesy of GetInTheGame.com, Better Sports Network. It is autographed. It is glorious. We step aside. This is the maiden voyage of Buff Bets.
Hang out in the Bettor Zone, where you track NFL live action on Better Sports Network.
Joe Burrow is going off.
Burrow catches the shotgun snap. He's back to throw. He's going to throw it high and deep for Chase. Jamal has the ball. It is a touchdown.
27-33, 425, 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown.
Boyd has 7 for 146 and a touch. Chase has 6 for 116 and 2. Higgins has 4 for 80. Even Hayden Hurst 5 for 41. And even Mixon, they're not running the ball. And I applaud the Bengals. I've been complaining about them. That Thursday night game against Miami, they kept running Mixon. They weren't picking up yards. This is how the Bengals should play. Yes. You have Chase, Boyd, Higgins, throw the football.
Cannot defend them. You're exactly right. Listen, nobody on earth is going to tell me there's a defense in the NFL that can defend those 3 receivers. Then you play like this, and then it opens up Joe Mixon. It opens up things in the running game. I'm 100% with you about how they should be playing.
Inside handoff to Travis Etienne, into the end zone, touchdown! Travis Etienne, a 7-yard touchdown run.
You know when Etienne's got the ball, there's a different gear right there right now, and I just think I got to start feeding him the ball more.
And they kind of know it. Like you said, it's kind of trending there right now. They need to get him the football. I mean, he's the most explosive player on that offense. They don't have a lot of speed at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So they need to get him the ball if they want to have success. And I think they know it, and you're starting to see it more.
Lamar Jackson, for Lamar not to account for a touchdown, that's pretty tough considering what you expect from Lamar on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and it's like 4 straight weeks now that he has 1 passing touchdown or less, and he's reached 200 passing yards 1 time in those 4.
They're just ruining prime years of Lamar Jackson's career with this guy, Greg Roman. They are.
Yeah, man, and and he's playing for the contract too.
Yep.
But yeah, it sucks because I think if we had this discussion a couple weeks ago, we'd be like, oh yeah, Lamar easy in that top discussion, and now it's like you're gonna play him if you have him. I have him in multiple leagues. You're not benching him, but this is not what you paid for.
Hang out in the Better Zone for a better NFL game day experience. Sundays at 1 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network. Buff Bets with Keith Irizarry and Cody Decker on Bettor Sports Network.
It is Buff Bets who are back. I don't know what Cody is doing right now.
I'm doing the DJ thing, man. I got the headpiece in. I'm throwing my left hand out in a really syncopated way. I got a microphone here. I look the part.
You dominate the bar mitzvah scene.
You have no idea. No child on a chair is safe.
Oh God.
My problem was I used to throw them off the chair.
I was gonna say, when's the last bar mitzvah you went to?
It's been a while, and for that reason.
Yeah, I would imagine that you're the guy that, like, at first glance, everyone goes, "Oh, let's get Cody to help lift the kids up in the chair," and then afterwards they go, "That was a terrible idea because little Mikey is now in the ceiling."
Oh no, Cody threw young Job through the roof.
Oh, you went low-hanging fruit, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously.
Disclaimer: Cody played for Team Israel, so yeah.
Cody, do not harm Shlomo.
God, where are we going with this?
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of cool names of a lot of people I played baseball with, is all I'm saying. I did play with a Shlomo, by the way. Shlomo,
no, you did not.
Yes, I did. I swear to God, on Team Israel. Shlomo Lipitz. This guy is... Everybody who's watching, stop what you're doing and Google the name Shlomo Lipitz.
No.
He is a magician. This guy played at UCSD, I think. I don't know. And then he was on our team for Team Israel both times. He's the GM of a bar and restaurant out here called City Winery in New York City. This guy is magical and is a low sidearm guy named Shlomo. And he looks exactly how he sounds.
So does his winery restaurant open up in the morning? Because I just envisioned us doing Buff Bets on location at Shlomo's spot.
City Winery, Shlomo Lipitz. See, there's even someone in the chat already checked out Shlomo.
Oh, Shlomo.
Trust me when I say this. Google Shlomo Lipitz. You will only be happy.
And you're not mixing with people, right? This isn't going to get people in trouble at work. This isn't like a not safe for work thing.
I'm not sending you to, like, what was that website in the
Evan Fournier? Yeah. The Evan Fournier thing? Yeah.
I'm not doing that. No,
that Shlomo Lipitz is in the back of my mind now. Like, whenever someone says, "Oh, Google it," I'm like, are you sure I could do that at work?
Shlomo is real and a gem of a guy. I love him to death.
All right, Shlomo. Maybe you should get Shlomo on as a guest. All right, we'll
you should.
Yeah, we'll get Shlomo on as a guest, and I think Matt Deutsch is going to meet us at the winery. That's Matt Deutsch, our big boss, is going to be like, "I'm in. We're going to the winery. I'm in."
Oh, City Winery.
So LeBron James and the Lakers, they're 0-4.
Are they?
I know you're a Lakers fan.
Am I?
I've readily admitted I'm a LeBron fan, so I kind of roll with LeBron where he goes. I like to see LeBron play. I like to see him win. I like to see him in action. I said on Moose and Keith today, 4 games, 5 games, a week and a half, whatever it is, way too early for us to pass judgment on anybody. The team that's 3-1, the team that's 0-4, like, it's way too early. Mm-hmm. But if you kind of like navigate the waters a little bit, the Lakers have a lot of flaws, a lot of issues. They can't play defense. They can't shoot the ball. And they've got players that are routinely injured, and they don't have anything. They have a rookie coach, and they have a general manager that doesn't really know what he's doing. Wait, I think there's problems.
This is a nightmare, Pete. This is an utter unabashed
You have
nightmare.
the Lakers and the Raiders, dude.
I am the... And no, you want worse? No, I got worse than both of those teams. You want worse than that? I also went to UCLA, and guess what? There's nothing worse than a spoon feed of hope. They gave me some hope going into Oregon. We're ranked 9th against Oregon 10th, and I knew going in, I'm like, well, this is not going to go well for me, and it didn't. Yeah, dude, this is the Lakers. What a nightmare. What can you say? Russ can't shoot. Now he's hurt, but he could with an injured hamstring. Yet somehow he's able to dance into the clubhouse, which they actually got on camera. AD decided to make a dunk yesterday and hang on the rim. He's hurt.
Let me interrupt, though. Do you remember the show Saved by the Bell?
I do.
Remember when Lisa sprained her ankle and she was on with Casey Kasem, and
yes.
They go, "Let everybody do the sprain," and she did the sprain thing.
Yes,
that's what Russell Westbrook did. I mean, he's hurt. It's fine. Doesn't mean if the left hammy hurts, why can't you dance on the right leg? Hit him with the stanky leg.
I'm just saying now's not the time, Keith. They're 0-4.
Oh, the optics of it you don't like.
They're the Lakers. The Lakers are not allowed to be. Listen, this is the only time I'm ever going to identify with any of you delusional Yankee fans out there. Yes, I agree. The Yankees should never be a losing team. Should they always be a World Series team? No, that's not practical. That's not how Earth works. But the Yankees always need to be in it. They need to be. That's part of the game. It's entrenched in the Major League Baseball. The Lakers need to always be in it. They are not anywhere near in it, like not even close. And this is a team that has AD. It's got Westbrook. It's got LeBron James. This team is the worst team in the NBA. And who's at fault? Everyone. I don't think there's anyone that's not at fault. I mean, truly. I mean, Patrick Beverley last night came on national television and actually said this out loud. And part of me appreciates it, but the other part of me is going like, really? Come on. Where he's saying like, yeah, well, he's been scoring 20, shooting at 20%. We shot at 26% today, so we got better. You lost by 20. Lakers play the Timberwolves on Friday. And God. Hold on. I say that because I say this. Let me read you a tweet from I always forget how to say his. I think it's David Wojcicki or Wojcicki. I always forget to say his name and I apologize, but it's, it was on Twitter. One big takeaway. LeBron James flat out said he's going to be more aggressive looking for his own scoring opportunities. Said the turnovers tonight, he had 8, came from being 2 pass first. I'm going to throw this out right now at 11:31 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Game's Friday. Take the over on LeBron points. I think that's good. Listen, you know what LeBron James can do if he decides just to take over. And the only downside of him taking over is, well, LeBron takes over, and it makes me think LeBron James is going to last 5 more games before an injury happens. There's no way at his age right now. It's not that he's not capable. It's more the sustainability. He needs shooters around him so we can keep LeBron James out on the court. Yeah. And I don't think we're getting that. Lakers aren't getting shooters. Not now. I mean, who can they possibly get at this point? And well, you still have the Westbrook for Buddy Hield thing that's hanging around because they... Yeah. Is it going to make them a playoff team overnight? I mean, the problem is the way that they're built. And then, I do this a lot where I'll go the way they were like, I don't know, put together with gum and popsicle sticks instead of like actual brick and mortar. So if I take you through the Western Conference and right now you say the Lakers are the worst team in the NBA, they're not the worst team in the – I know they are right now. They're not, and they shouldn't be. All right, let's go just west. Let's go. Will they be better than the Kings? Yes. Right? Yes. Okay. Yes. They better be. I forget the Kings even exist, and they're in a city that's the capital of the state I'm from. Will they be better than the Rockets? Yes. That's 2. Okay. Will they be better than the Thunder? Yes. That's 3. They're probably not better than Dallas. They're not better than the Clippers. They're not better than the Warriors. These are all the teams that are outside the top 8 right now in the West. Okay. So I got 3. Mm-hmm. They're not better than Denver. No. I don't think they're better than Minnesota. I don't think so either. They're not better than Memphis. They're not. They're not better than Phoenix. They should be better than San Antonio. So there's 4. San Antonio is a bad basketball team with a great coach. Yes. You said Phoenix, yes. They're not going to be better than New Orleans. They're not going to be better than Portland, I don't think. I don't think so either. I think they ultimately will be better than Utah. I think Utah's just off to a hot start. So that's 5 teams. Do you hear what you're saying out loud? That would mean that puts them at 10. And that's us. Yeah. They're the Lakers. Like, can you imagine us having this conversation about the Yankees right now? Can we have we're actually kind of having this conversation for like the first time in 2 decades about the Green Bay Packers for the first time. But it's weird. We can't talk about the Packers sucking, and they're sucking. The Lakers they're bad. It's not just that they're playing. They look terrible. They look dejected. Interviews after games. I don't think they like each other. I don't think so. And either. That matters too. It does. It really does. Listen, I one time played for a GM. Actually, I'll even tell you who it was. It was AJ Preller. And AJ Preller made this great comment one time that I both hated and loved at the same time. because there were some people that were raising concerns about when he first got to the Padres of the trades that he made. He made a lot of trades early, and I thought the trades were awesome as a player on the team. Like, look, we just got Matt Kemp. We went out and got Craig Kimbrell. We just got, Justin Upton. Like, look what we're doing. We're going for it. Yeah, let's go. And then we got in there, and the team did not gel. Just this group of ball players, all talented, all incredible, did not gel. In fact, I'd even go a step further. This team did not like each other. This team did not like themselves. It was just a kind of a toxic clubhouse, unfortunately. No, not one in particular guy's fault. Really kind of a collective failure, myself included. Even though I was only there a month, myself included. Everybody was just a disaster. But I remember when I mentioned that one time to AJ Preller, he did say something that really caught my ear. And he goes, yeah, but you got to understand, Deck, every once in a while, talent wins out. And I'm like, you are not wrong, because sometimes talent can be so immense that it wins out. Is the Lakers' talent that talented? Yes, in 2018. It's 2022. They are old.
Not good. Not good.
They're old men.
And what's the market for Westbrook? That's another problem, is that and we were talking about my sons, right? So I was driving with both of the boys, and they're nerds in sports stuff like you and I are. Like, they're athletes and they play sports and they play at pretty good levels. But they also nerd out with me when we discuss this stuff, right? And my older son says the Lakers should trade Westbrook. And I said, okay, for what? And then my younger son said, for something better than Westbrook.
Okay.
I go, that's a great
sandwich.
I was like, that's great analysis. But right. I like, we're sitting here right now. Like, I just don't know, like, insert a team. If we just run, if I just look at every team right now, let's go, like, Milwaukee wouldn't want him. Cleveland wouldn't want him. The Knicks wouldn't want him. The Celtics wouldn't want him. The Wizards have had him before. They don't want him. The Hawks wouldn't want him. I'm not sure he's allowed in Canada. I'm just kidding. But Toronto, I don't think would want him. Chicago wouldn't want him. Charlotte, I don't know why would you want to pair him with LaMelo?
But who does he make better?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Like, yeah, forget wanting him. Like, who is a better team with Russell Westbrook back on their team? Like, I
got one.
Who?
Westbrook straight up for Ben Simmons. Who wins that trade?
Oh, don't. As a Laker fan, the only guy in the NBA that's more of a disaster than Russell Westbrook is Ben Simmons.
So you say the Nets would win that trade getting Westbrook?
No, I think this is a calamity of errors on both sides.
Wins that train wreck. Nice.
Yeah, really, no one wins that trade except for us watching the disaster of it on both sides. I mean, let's be real clear. Russell Westbrook dancing into the clubhouse with the optics of the injured hamstring after playing the way he has. And then last night, shoot it, Ben!
Oh, my God.
It's just, what is Ben Simmons is broken, correct?
Yes. I actually said it earlier today, and I'll say it again. So I am kind of careful with how I talk about Ben Simmons, because he did mention, through all of this, he's had some mental breakdowns.
Serious stuff.
Very serious stuff.
Very.
So like, I'm not going to get on here and you didn't, by the way, which I love, but I'm not going to sit here. Like, people use the word trash and all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm not going to do that to this guy who clearly something is going on. Right. With that being said, as an actual basketball player, he has been bad.
Yeah, he's just not the guy. And listen, I hate to use this comparison because I don't mean any disrespect with this comparison in any way, shape, or form. Truly, I don't. In fact, I'm using this example as almost as a sign of concern. My first thought is Marinovich.
Oh my God.
It's just,
wow.
I can't help but think that. Are we dealing with a Marinovich type situation? Like, he was supposed to be the dude, the guy, and just too much.
Yeah. Chuck Knobloch, case of the yips.
Chuck Knobloch.
Right?
I mean, there is something to it. I mean, you got to understand. Like, I know fans don't get it. And listen, I dealt with it at a fraction.
Rick Ankiel, great one. Yep, sorry.
Rick Ankiel, great one. But I dealt with this at a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a level that Ben Simmons has. Like, and I think a lot of athletes would not be willing to admit that they have dealt with mental health issues. And I think most of us have. In fact, every team that you can think of under the sun has a full mental health department now, really dedicated to these type things. But when your confidence is shaken in a way that Ben Simmons has been, you have to understand, we go our whole lives as athletes, especially when we make it to the major leagues, make it to the NFL. Our ass has been kissed a good amount of our life about what we can do on that field, what we can do on that court, what we can do on that gridiron. And none of it's necessarily, it's both real and not real in that you're amazing at a sport and it does get a lot of attention. But at the end of the day, it's not that important because at the end of the day, it is just a sport. You were very talented at a sport. But when you go this far in your life, all the way to the highest level, it's so entrenched into who you are that one loss, one bad beat, all of a sudden will make you start to question who you are. I think the best person that I've ever heard said it out loud was Ronda Rousey. When Ronda Rousey lost her first fight, and it was her first fight of a division and quite frankly, an entire industry that she had dominated. And quite frankly, the industry wouldn't exist the way it does without Ronda Rousey. But she talked about how she went through a horrific spiral after that one loss. Taking one kick to the head from Holly Holm made her think, am I not who I think I am? And she had a whole mental crisis over it. And part of me going like, I really get that. I understand. And I'm not even an athlete in my respective field at her level. Yeah. And I totally understand what she's coming from.
Yeah, confidence is key. Mental health, obviously, very key. Switch it forward just a hair to go back to Simmons and Westbrook. Mm-hmm. Contracts kind of match up a little bit. Like the money kind of works. It's not that far off.
You know what? Now I want it to happen. Now I honestly want it to happen because why not at this point? Just if we're going to keep throwing Russ out there over at crypto.com/org, whatever the stadium's called now, you might as well put Ben Simmons out there. I'd love to hear LeBron scream, shoot it, Ben. Wait, no, do not shoot it, Ben. Do not shoot.
Simmons under longer control with whatever team would have him. He becomes an unrestricted free agent in 25. So you'd either have him or be stuck with him for 2 more seasons after this year. Westbrook can be a free agent after this season. But Westbrook this year is slated to make $47 million, and Ben is at 36, almost $36 million this year. So obviously there'd have to be a little bit of contractual gymnastics to make it happen. But the only reason I bring this up is, and I'm not trying to, like, this isn't conspiracy theories. This is what you do when you do, sports talk radio and television, is you kick around some ideas the way we would be if we were sitting at a bar or like an Applebee's sharing half-price apps. Is the fact that LeBron, and let me just double check that I'm right. Doesn't Clutch Sports represent Ben Simmons? Yes, they do. So Rich Paul and Clutch Sports represent Ben Simmons. Rich Paul, friend of LeBron. LeBron has been a proponent of Ben Simmons. If there were ever a time where LeBron went to, Rob Pelinka and said, listen, man, let's figure out the money part of this, but I think I can fix Ben. I can be the reason why Ben is better. Right?
Listen, I thought this was the most disastrous, nonsensical idea ever put in my head. I've never wanted something to happen more than I do in this last 2 minutes. You know what? Again, the Lakers are 0-4. At this point, quite frankly, I know it's early in the season, 0-4. Shouldn't panic. I'm panicking. Let's be real clear. I'm definitely panicking. I have nothing. We have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
From a Brooklyn standpoint, there is would Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook be able to play nice again? Like, they had a fall, like when Durant left, it was the whole cupcake thing. Like, so a lot of times time heals wounds. You tell me. You're a UCLA guy and you know Russell Westbrook, a little bit, right? I don't know if he seems like the kind of guy that, like, lets go of a grudge. I'm not sure.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think of the two, I don't think it's going to be a Russ issue. I think it would be a KD issue. And the reason I'm saying that, Patrick Beverley is currently wearing a Lakers uniform.
Good point.
And they seem to be getting along just fine.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right. Fair enough. Switch it over to the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. I let it. Robert Quinn last season had 18.5 sacks, just has one this year, but gets double teamed a lot. From a standpoint of going for it, right? We saw the Jets, who have been a laughing stock organization for so many years. They're no longer a laughing stock. They've got 5 wins, and they've gotten rid of the loser mentality. Breece Hall goes down with injury. They quickly trade for James Robinson. And if you're a Jets fan, you have to love it. If you're an Eagles fan today and you're waking up, or last night, you saw it last night, and you're seeing that you just added another legit defensive guy to your defensive line on a team that's undefeated, like, they're going for it. I love the way this Eagles team and the brass is building this.
Am I alone in thinking we're seeing more high-impact trades in an NFL season than we've ever seen?
I don't remember it being like this.
Yeah, I can only, honest to God, I can only think of one high-impact trade mid-season, and that was Randy Moss, and it didn't really lead to anything when he got traded back over to the Minnesota Vikings. But yeah, this has been nuts. And yeah, if you're a Jets fan, you got to be excited. But I am worried about their game this weekend, and I know it sounds crazy, especially with all the controversy going on with the New England Patriots and the quarterback controversy, Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi. Dude, this feels like a trap game among trap games among trap games. There is the endless specter that is the New England Patriots against the Jets, and we all know how the Jets feel about the Patriots. This seems like a scary game to me. Just this game. I actually am starting to dig and believe in the Jets a little bit, but there's still that Belichick-sized specter on the other side of that gridiron. Yeah,
from a standpoint of us being able to do more things in television and radio, I was rooting for Bailey Zappi. Just there's more, like, you know, I'm good. I'm good with Return of the Mac. We've done that already, but like, think about it. Because I'm Zappy, clap along if you feel like a root. Like, you got all this stuff that you can do with Zappy.
Yes, you can. Hey, I'm also not against the idea of a quarterback by committee. Let's go QB1, QB2. Why not? I mean, it's not like any of them are gonna win it for you. You gotta do something clever. Look at the Giants. It's not like Danny Dimes is winning. Danny Dimes is playing great, but Dable is using Danny Dimes properly.
So Dable is the coach of the year unless you give it to Nick Sirianni, right? Like, Sirianni's got an undefeated team. And if the Eagles end up winning, if they go 14-3, it should be Sirianni, right? But what Dable is doing with a New York Giants team that probably called you to see if you could be the wide receiver, like 2 for them last week. I know you declined because you were busy with Fox Sports. I get it. You couldn't do more than one thing at a time. But like, they don't have any receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson might be okay. They don't have any receivers. Offensive line's fine, and they have a really good scheme. Defensive line has gotten better. Defense has gotten pretty good, and Saquon Barkley. This should not be a one-loss team, and Dable has gotten them to a one-loss team, and like, it has been really fun to watch.
Yeah, it really has been. And you know what it is? They're grinders, man. I didn't realize that I liked the Giants until that game in London. That game in London against the Green Bay Packers, and then all of a sudden, you know, Danny Dimes gets beat up a little bit, and oh man, they're rolling out the backup QB. And then all of a sudden, they're starting to roll out the Wildcat with Saquon. I just threw out down my drink, my alcoholic beverage that I spent $15 on, out of sheer, like, we're Wildcatting this? Let's go. Why not?
Your New York drinks.
Yeah, it was like a Bud Light. It only cost me $37.
Yeah, that's what in your minor league days when you were traveling around and like you guys had a day off and you go to a bar. What was the drink of choice for young Cody Decker?
When I played, I was a whiskey man myself. I stopped drinking beer in college, in fact, for weight purposes. I learned that I had to start drinking like an adult, which is both a good and terrible thing. But I became a kind of a whiskey snob. And towards the later years of my career, when I started going to more winter ball, I played for a team that was owned by a tequila company. So I ended up becoming more of a tequila guy, which, by the way, if you guys are into weightlifting and strength training, the best alcohol you could probably drink is tequila.
There you go.
Ask The Rock.
Buff bets. Pass the Rock? What do you mean?
I said ask The Rock.
Oh, ask The Rock. I think you said pass the Rock. Ask The Rock. I'll give you that.
Right there. He's right here to my left. You're right. I don't know how these images work when you're watching these things, but I'm just saying, look at this man. This is clearly Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
What did we decide? Not the Pebble. What were we going to call me? The Stone?
The Pebble is a good one, though.
I mean, I'm not that
You're
little.
bigger than a Pebble, though.
Exactly.
You deserve at least, like, I don't know, not a boulder, because that would technically be bigger.
The Stone.
The Stone. I guess
the Rock and the
Stone.
Stone.
The Rock and the Stone. Yeah.
Rock and the Stone. Why aren't we in a movie together? The Rock and the Stone.
I don't know. You became great buddy cops.
Right? We would be.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to see if I can somehow get into the new version of White Man Can't Jump. Do you have any connections for that, Cody? Because
as of right now, no, but I will make some phone calls. But I just realized, no, you're not the buddy cop. What am I thinking? You're like the hard ass like commissioner that busts in and be like, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you just blew up 4 city blocks. How could you do such a thing? Oh my God, I need your badge and your pension. And then you slam the door and then you kind of like let him back in last seconds. Hey, I know I took your bag and your pension, but here's your gun. Save the day. You know, and that's so you're like that. You're that boss with the heart of gold.
Hey, that's what you get here at Buff Bets. We give you some bets and some acting tips and impersonations. All right, we got about 10 minutes to play with. We step aside for a minute. Buff Bets, keep it locked right here at Bettor Sports Network.
Shall we? Because he is with us, and that is the CEO of Thrive Fantasy joins us now, and that is Adam Weinstein, who is now a Thrive Fantasy proud sponsor. Well, we're happy that they are sponsoring the Moose and Keith show right here on the Bettor Sports Network. Hey, Adam, good morning. Thanks for the time this morning. We appreciate it, and thanks for partnering up with us. We're excited about the opportunity ahead.
Good morning, fellas. Excited on our end as well.
Yeah, really cool stuff. I did my first NFL challenge yesterday. I did a Monday night one, ended up hitting 6 out of 10 and ended up winning $25. So I did pretty well. Finished 260 out of almost 1,200.
I mean, hitting 6 out of 10 in any other platform, you're probably not making your money back or being profitable. But on Thrive, if you hit 60%, you got a chance.
Talk us through that too, because I do find like that part of it is really cool. So many options to become a winner.
Yeah, so unlike your traditional daily fantasy where you're drafting one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, we give a user a list of 20 over-unders in which they pick 10 out of 20. Each one has a fantasy point associated with it based on the likelihood it is to hit. So you can get 7 out of 10 right. I can get 8 out of 10 right, but you can still theoretically beat me if you pick more underdogs. So a lot of fun, more of a pick up and play type mentality. Essentially, the reason behind Thrive is I didn't want people to have to research 30 quarterbacks, 60 running backs, 150 wide receivers, right? We're only asking you about the Bradys of the world, the Zekes. So these are the people that you want to engage with, the ones that you're knowledgeable about. And it's just more streamlined, more easy for the casual fan to compete.
Adam, when did you mention the reasoning behind Thrive Fantasy? When did you realize that there was an opportunity within the marketplace of this missing that you think would work?
Yeah, so I've been a player prop guy for probably 12 to 13 years now, way before PASPA. I graduated UMass Amherst 2012 with a sport management degree when DK and FanDuel were coming aboard. I was like, given my sports knowledge, I'm going to crush it on these sites. Lo and behold, I got my absolute butt kicked. So I thought, hey, if player props and daily fantasy had a baby, I think that could be pretty cool. I left my sales job at the Yankees in 2016 to found Thrive. We launched in 2018, a month prior to PASPA, and the rest is history. We started with the NFL, MLB, and NBA, and we now offer about a dozen plus sports and esports across the board.
Let's talk a little Thrive Fantasy, shall we?
Buff Bets with Keith Therizeri and Cody Decker. Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on Bettor Sports Network.
Why you always in the mood?
We play jams here.
And do you know who's the artist?
I don't know, but I dig it.
24K Golden.
Is he really? See, I don't know who that is. I'm going to download
young. Yeah, I'm good with this stuff. And I refuse. So Keith behind the scenes, he's like our DJ, producer also, but like our DJ. And I've nailed, I think, everything that has anything to do with either R&B or rap. Like, so when he starts throwing up, some old school rock music, that's when I'll start failing. No,
well, that's where I pick up the thing. In case you don't know this, fun fact, Keith, do you know how I was able to afford playing all those years of minor league baseball?
You were in a cover band. It was a Billy Joel cover band where you were sing us a song because you were the piano man.
I hate the fact that you're close. I hate it that you're actually kind of close. I ran a trivia night in Los Angeles at multiple bars and restaurants. I traveled 5 nights a week in Los Angeles every offseason and did my trivia show everywhere. And that's how I made all my money to be able to go and fund my playing career during the season.
You can make a living doing that?
I did. Well, I kind of did, but yeah,
That's
I did.
Awesome.
It was
That's really cool.
I ran a really good trivia night, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. It was a blast.
That's really cool. By the way, Keith, I was kidding behind the scenes. I don't want you to suddenly start testing me on the rock music. I will whiff on every single one and like the obvious ones too. Matt Stryker does this to me all the time on Bettor's Eye. Like when we're just chilling before the show, he'll randomly play. He'll be like, I can't even think of a rock group right now. Like he'll name a rock group.
Yeah, he'll play an Alice Cooper jam, and you have
and he'll say name a song by Alice Cooper, and I'll go Winds Above Replacement.
What?
That's what I'll say.
What?
All right, Nick Durst. Who can lift more between us? Cody can. I know that he can. All right.
But he can do probably like a full like Ironman marathon, and I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to guess I'd beat you on all the gymnastic stuff. I probably pull-ups I'll get you. I can walk on my hands, so I can do that.
You're going to get me on that. Although I will say this, you might get me eventually, but when I say I can go all day on push-ups, but I've never done more than 150 push-ups in one sitting. So I don't know.
Well, have you ever done the push-up test? The average American, and it was an American poll, the average American can do, I think it was like, 20 push-ups, like if you're in decent shape, right? But like to be considered elite, you have to be able to do 80 or more in a row, but really actually locking it out.
Yes, I can absolutely. That's
now. Hard. That's harder than people think, though. Yes, I've done it too, but it is a lot harder than people think. There's also like the planking competition too. And,
I could sit at a plank for 3 weeks. I don't get much out of it. So I do actual ab work. Keith. I don't know if you know this. I got obliques that don't quit. How do you think 200 balls went over those fence buddies?
You should do some Turkish ab sit-ups today.
I am going to do Turkish get-ups today. So I'm glad
those
you
are
brought that
so
up.
good for your joints.
I know.
If you do them the right way.
I do them. Oh, I will send you a video.
I'm not saying that you're not. I'm saying you need to be careful. Because of like having the arm up there and looking up and taking one leg through. Yeah, no, it's not the easiest thing. I would win a CrossFit race. Yes, I would take me in that one. And we have other questions for you, but we only have 30 seconds, so that's out. When we're sitting here next week, how are we feeling about the World Series on Thursday? What do you think?
Listen, I told everybody Astros in 6, but here's the deal. I don't want that to happen, and I've been wrong about the Phillies all along with everybody else. So I'm hoping for some Philly action.
All right, we'll see. This has been Buff Bets. We're back again next Thursday. He's Cody. I'm Keith. Later.